that kind of also led to, right, some of this, that also led to like kind of some of like that kind of speculative fever going on. So you do have like nice trends that were happening intraday in some of these bad boys. So you can see here, like you're kind of prime timed for, maybe a little bit of a pop here. The price action's been a little bit strange of the last, 4, 5, 6 days last week. But like if you're really kind of goosing in on this, as overbought as we were, having like a 10, 15 day, right, the consolidation really helps work off overbought conditions and allows kind of like some fresh action to come in. And you probably saw that, like, right, like even like 2 weeks ago, like so many names looked tired. And when everything starts to look tired, right, your setups start to fail a lot more. So now we've kind of had like a nice little consolidation over here. You're still not seeing like a broad base, run in stocks that are like the fucking Qs were like flying yesterday, but like I didn't really, none of the large cap tech names on my list were going. Usually like when you have a big trend day like that and nothing's going, it ends up being like, right, like fucking Adobe and shit like that you probably will not trade. If you're looking at the market breadth the last few days, there were 249 breakouts, very few breakdowns, but still like you're not getting, right, a huge thrust in terms of the market. When you really want to see like a healthy market, like this is a percentage of stocks over its 200-day moving average, right? Market breadth has been slowly grinding down into more of just like a neutral territory. A really healthy market, you're going to see a majority of stocks over their major moving averages. So if you're like a swing trader and you're like, oh fuck, like why am I getting stopped out all the time? Part of that is that market breadth is so low that you're not getting, it becomes like you have to have like a very, very elite stock picking skills, meaning you have to be in the right ones. But then beyond that, you have to have picture perfect entries, especially if you're trading some of the like the larger cap names and things like that are like very conducive to moving with the overall market. So like, we're in a little bit of a mixed bag, the last like couple of weeks. Now the market was kind of grinding down here, but in general, market breadth has been weak the whole damn year. It's been a very narrow run in the market for the last, so on and so forth. And even yesterday, like if you're really like, if you were trading yesterday and right, like you were having like your intraday scans popping up, almost all the stuff that was really popping was, oil stocks, you had some uranium stocks, some lithium stocks. So these are like commodities plays, which are like okay day traders, but they're not the best, right? Like, usually biotech, tech are always the easiest to trade with the most range. Commodity stocks always have the most shakeouts. Part of that is because they tend to have like, intraday news or like, you have oil reports and stuff like that, but they also can just grind a lot, right? So if you see like something like this or right, like, there was so many of these damn oil stocks, right? Like an SM, like they'll pop and then they kind of just chill. It's like when your whole like gainers list is popped on oil stocks, that's always like a little bit of a narrow thing. Now, the good positive thing of yesterday was that there was a little bit of a return and like some of the more speculative type of trading, which obviously is the most fun. It's better if you're playing in a game. Sometimes it's better to just be trading against a bunch of degenerates than, right, some professionals. And so sometimes when these degens are running, you can go. So there was a whole. So we did see some return into kind of a little bit more of this like speculative, action with IRNT, and most of this fucking move was made after hours, so who gives a shit? But that's some of that, and then right, you saw like this pump and dump on INDP, which this is like going to be probably that's a gimme. All this kind of action here, these are all just based off Discord rooms and stuff like that, right? Because the easiest thing to do, like the market cap on this is probably it's less than my market cap, right? So if the company you trade has a smaller market cap than yourself, then you know what's about to go down. So like the market cap on this is like 10 million, 20 million, whatever it is, sometimes T2000 for all. So, right, like all it just takes is some jabroni, right, in like a Discord room to kind of start popping these things. And then once the momentum hits, right, like every jerk off in the world has a trade ideas scanner. So then they're like trade ideas top of, like top gainer scanner starts coming in, and right, next thing you know, things pile in, and hey, I'm not opposed to piling in either, right? I'm not opposed to piling in either. But you do have to remember is they will come all the way back down. I mean, even like a VWAP bounce didn't even hold, that's like, right, this is a full round trip, which is pretty cool too. Oh, I mean, who doesn't have fucking patents? Get out of here. We might have to change your name. Oh, now let's get into this because there's I think these IPOs, that's going to be a theme today. I know Blizzy posted a list in the chat room of a good, I actually went through some of them. There are actually some good ones in there. So I think that, IPOs is going to be a flavor today, like something like this, TMC. This is pretty good. Man, I would put this in because this is an IPO breakout. Like this is, you can't chase this thing up, right? It's like 37%. Maxi pad here. Maxi pad has been getting like, it had heat yesterday, but it wasn't a clean trader. What I mean by that is like, when you're rolling in a stock like Maxi pad here, like when you're getting like these kind of, all these kind of like, you got to be a little bit careful because what's happening, and this is how most traders trade, right? Like, you're just drawing your horizontal lines on stocks, and right, that's kind of how you're basing, your decisions. And then, well, when you get like something like a Maxi pad that's a little bit crazier, what's going to happen is like, you're not going to get like a linear move. You're going to have to hit this thing on dips and stuff because it's just a thin little bastard. Even with all that volume, it was trading very, very thin yesterday. What can you do, right? It was trading very, very thin yesterday. What can you do? But like sometimes like these kind of stocks, they can start to go a little bit nutty. Spirella. Yeah, Spirella is like another one here. Like you can see this is like a big gelatinous turd, but you're starting to get a little bit of action on some of these. Now this one may not have the liquidity we need, so I'd probably get rid of that one. Agile. Yeah, it's such a big deal that it dropped 100% in price. 37, 30. We'll keep an eye on this one. I need to see like liquidity on that. Bros, dude. Bros? I mean, oh man. Bros, dude, this is just for the name. We're fucking trading this. Damn, that's amazing. I didn't even know there was such a ticker out there. Bros, I mean, that's top of the list right there. Hey, kid, this 40 mark. Let's keep an eye on that Dutch bros too, huh? European bros. Now, do they have for Europeans and Canadians? I mean, is there such a thing as bros in Europe? This I did not know. I thought Jared Bros is like really a specific type of, American man. That'd be amazing. Like a Dutch bro, Dutch oven, kind of cool. ADAB, chunk. BSKY. Hey, 15 minutes into the market, start running a percentage change scan from open, right? Not from previous close. You want to change the scan just a tad so that you can see what's running from, right, from the first tick, from the close yesterday. Some of these, if they start to get liquidity in them, they'll be okay. Life. Oh man, I smell this offering from a mile away. Pro C 75. So this is fucking. Shoot, $75 million, $8. It's like 10 million shares, basically. We'd have to see how this acts. That's probably a fairly decent size offering. If this float number is even right, who knows? But now that they at least got the offering out of the way, maybe it starts to pick back up steam. Not my cup of tea because you never know with those offerings, like when they start to just come in and, unload shares. I'd probably leave that alone. Hey, see this gravy here? This is another one. Like if you start to get like some heat on this, I'd set an alert here anyways. But when you start to get, if you get a little heat on this in terms of liquidity, like that can be, I mean, that's like a picture perfect pattern. When you have an IPO stock that has been basing out like that, I mean, if that had like, say, 10 million shares a day in volume, right, that would be literally like a picture perfect setup. It doesn't have much liquidity yet. I would set an alert, 2 alerts, 2 conditions I would set. 1 volume condition, you can just literally set alert via volume if you want. So like you can see here, like if you right click on your TC2000, you can set volume conditions very easily. So like you could come in and, put in whatever, right? So in between, percentage change, crossing up, crossing down, right? Over moving averages. And then you just do it for like 1 week, all right? And then what happens is if the volume starts to come in on something like that, then at least now you're paying attention to it. And you want to couple that with price because, volume without price is stupid, right? Price precedes volume always. So volume is a confirming indicator. So you want to always come in after the fact on those. Weber, jump. Yeah, I think what's going to happen is like we're going to have to come in probably about 15, 20 minutes in the day. All these IPOs are getting they're getting some play. I have an IPO list here if anybody needs it. These are IPOs from like the last 1 year, give or take. You can put that in your TC2000 if you want. Do a little scan through there, throughout the day. Good. Now let's go in and kind of just look at like some of the regular watch lists. I think, we kind of missed it a little bit, but I think these uranium plays are still going to be trenders. Now you can't hit this on break, but like if you get a snapback and it's not that far away, the breakout was at 750. If you get a snapback on this, and it'll probably come today, like where you just get this big whoosh, what we want to start to see is like, okay, does this thing start to hold at 740, 750? If it starts to happen, like I think we're going to get ourselves a good little fun on that one. Yeah, and there's a bunch of these other ones I think still, they're going to need breaks, but you want to keep this on for the next like 3-4 days. Like when they pull back, they'll snap back. Most likely they'll snap back today at some point. And, what we want to do is like, these are essentially rubber band shorts, but then as soon as that pullback happens, I think we want to flip it back long. So in the short time today, we want to be looking at these for potential shorts, right? The gap up today, like especially in this Euroi, seems like an exhaustion gap. And then like once they start to come back into the zone, I think we come in. But like this thing was $2. I doubt this is going to be even hard to borrow because like these are not really like people's specialty plays in terms of, right? Like this is not like some random biotech stock, that's just like flying around 1,000%. That'll be hard to find. Like this should be easy to borrow. Same thing, there's an ETF here, URA. You can see like this thing was $17, got to $30. That's a lot for a commodity, right? Like if you're thinking about like oil, gas, so on and so forth, 100% move for commodity is pretty intense. Now I think the long term on this looks pretty hot. Like, we want to be, once we kind of come back into this uranium story, the lithium story, these things are not over, but it is over for the next 2-3 days. And then we'll have to see like kind of how things pop back. So I think, you want to add in this UEC, URO. Why? I think that's the easiest one. And, there's a whole host of these, other ones like Cameco, right? There's the CCJ is a little bit of a larger one, but this one is going to be, it's not as extended, right? Like, that's probably something. If they all start to collapse, you can always go with a CCJ or even a UUU and get those things going. What's going on? What are you guys watching? Okay, everybody wants to ask about some Bitcoin stocks. Let me see BTCM. Yeah, BTCM looks okay. This to me looks more like a swing trade. It's not the easiest day trader. This is probably something you put a stop at $10, and see kind of what goes down. JetBlue, man, let me Jose, this may be something like you put a stop at 14 and you may be stuck in this thing for months. You may be stuck in this damn thing for months. Airlines, look at how it trades, right? There's nothing worse to trade in the world. Tell what your coffee's mine. There's nothing worse in the world to trade than airlines. Like they all stink, and they've stunk since since the beginning of time, I think. But they're just kind of there's really nothing to do in them right now. Now they are tightening up in one day. But what's going to happen is like when they tighten up and go, they're going to pop for like a damn day, and then they're going to sit around anyways, right? Like it's so a part of it is like you want to put your money in more like efficient manner, like things that are moving in a prescribed way. I do think probably, NVIDIA, I'd set an alert if it gets, start doing this. It is just kind of channeling back and forth right now. You can buy this on the dips down to 219, or like, you can hit the breakout at 228. Really anything in between is going to be just like a big turd. It's going to be tough. Yeah, you can do it as a swing. It's just like, do you want to sit it? Look, if you make 10% on something, but it takes you 4 months, you make 10%, but is that a good trade? Right? It's about the efficiency and velocity of movement in your money, right? 10% in 2 weeks is better than 10% in 4 weeks, right? Even though it's 10%, one is double essentially. So I just kind of roll with that. Guys, I think these IPOs is probably going to be our flavor. We may be able to try this Annie on a red to green. It was getting bought up. Now this was getting pumped on a Seeking Alpha, article, but whatever. Potato. You may get something like this go. I don't know if this is a big priority for today, compared to some of the IPOs, but like it looks okay. Somebody asked about BBS. This to me looks like a short. I mean, this thing is like probably going to grind its way back down into here. It needs a lot of work before it can really be. It's got a lot of work before it can really get going. So I would not be. I think your money could be used better in those particular areas. So just kind of be smart with this stuff. You can see all these commodities are getting smoked out. So it looks like these IPOs are just going to be the way to go on the go today. And gold stocks stink the trades. I'd leave all those alone too. Hey, Johnny Wood, what's going on? Yeah, a lot of our kind of bread and butter tech stocks are just dead right now, dead to the world. Like this frigging, I mean, how many months have we been staring at like AMD, right? Just like fucking, like they're all dead to the world. Docu's dead to the world. Crowd, because there's tech stocks and then there's tech stocks that actually move, right? So like my bread and butter, where I would make most of my profits any given year, would be in these kind of like high beta tech stocks, and they're just dead. Like there's no point of doing anything on them right now. Like they're just stuck, right? Even like Roblox, like you can't really trade that, right? Like it's not in a lack of trending environment. You just get a lot more shakeouts. And so, right now we're kind of diving deep into the dumpster fire of life. And man, it's been invigorating. There's nothing like just throwing a fresh bag of shit on your face and saying, today I'm gonna try to make some money. And that's where we are. A lot of these like larger cap names are just not moving around right now. They're bread and butter. So, we kind of we're trading other things. And, a lot of you guys probably like me, you're into face creams and stuff. And so there's nothing like a little guano to just make your skin just feel alive. And that's where we're at. So let's go back into these. We got IRNT. I take INDP off the list. I've been watching this Croc still. You get like a kind of 2-3 day flag. Ride I take off too. And then TMC, MaxiPad, Bros. We got these uraniums for a potential short, and I think we just kind of roll with it. We'll see what goes downtown Julie Brown. You know, a little urology. This bros. Yeah, let's get a little bros going. You know what? You can still put ICUC on too if you want. Bros. TMC. We got MaxiPad. Hey, I think that's the list. We sticking to it. Let's get these things on the 6-window layouts. When you're trading, like, you know, a bunch of turds and stuff, you really want to you want to keep the small size on it, you know, and let the range just play out. I do think we can, you know, still BNTX is probably prime time for a run soon. You know, mRNA is getting there too. So on the larger side, like, I think those will start to work too. So guys, be careful today. The action's been good in the morning. It's been dead in the midday, and then lately it's been picking up some steam into the close. But I don't know about you guys, but like anytime I try to hit these plays into close, they just end up like turning out on me. It's like a little bit of the luck of the draw on them, but they are going. So, you know, we'll do what we have to do. Let's have some fun today. You know what we got to do?